Hello everyone, this week's video is a fun one. I am reacting to a CNBC Make It video, which is all about this couple achieving financial independence. Having done so myself, it is really fun to check out someone else's journey and how they got to that point. Let's see how this couple achieved financial independence and they are living in Portugal with their 2 kids.
I never ever envisioned living in another country. And then I never had this idea of ever retiring early. Aman is the visionary and I am the strategic planner to get there.
This is what happens when the couple is working together towards achieving the same goal. This is definitely a big achievement and kudos to this couple for doing it together.
What we did was we made some intentional short-term sacrifices so that we could have a lifetime of freedom.
That is brilliant, making intentional short-term sacrifices. And that's why even in our personal life, we do not spend any money on flashy clothes or anything superfluous. What we want to do is get freedom for ourselves, and money should not be a constraint in getting that for our family. Very, very cool. My dad always said, simple living and high thinking. I guess that's why this video is so relatable to us.
Recording.
You gotta clap.
I do this all the time when I'm recording my YouTube videos. Whenever I make a mistake, I do a big clap that shows a waveform on the editing software, and it's much easier to edit that way. That's what they did. And that's also something that a director does, a cut. That's to create that huge spike in the audio waveform, so it's easier to edit.
We met when we were really starving college students.
Literally.
This is such a funny story, and me and my husband met in our college as well, and the same thing, hungry, broke college students always wanting the free food. So relatable.
I was raised by a single mom. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, and we just never really talked about money. But I do recall that my mom was really good at saving. It's very different than how we are with our girls right now. We have a 12 and 14-year-old, and we are constantly talking about money with them.
The way you grow up so shapes how you are living life and how intentional you are with. I love these guys' story, so relatable. There is one person in the couple that is always creating these turmoils in their lives. I raise my hand. When it comes to being that person in our relationship, I'm always the person, go-getter, do something different, do something exciting, interesting, and was always of this vision that we will not be working till we are 60 years old. We have to enjoy time today and be with our kids and give them so much quality time, teach them about being moral and fulfill this purpose of life, the purpose of life that we have no idea why we're living. But at least we hopefully will reach our deathbeds and not regret any decisions that we ever made. And I definitely did not want money to be a limiting factor, and that's why we saved up as much as we could and then invested all of that money to reap the benefits today. We are financially independent, living our dream lives, and couldn't be happier.
To build generational wealth is to educate the next generation.
Again, nostalgia from my childhood. Education was the most important thing for my parents to gift to us as we were growing up. My dad would not spend on anything, but as far as our education was concerned, we went to the best schools, wore the best uniforms, and he did not shy away from spending on books and educational materials. Though I hope he would have also focused on sports and things that we really, really enjoyed, because you don't just want to raise a scholar, you want to raise a full person, and a full person does not just do math, they also run and they also play soccer and cricket. So definitely taking so many learnings from my own childhood and from my parents, but adding a little bit more layers to that for my future generations, my children, is that hopefully I'll be able to provide them with facilities that they are able to do things that they're truly, truly interested in. And then the rest success will just follow if you're practicing something that you truly love.
Graduated from college, we moved to San Diego, and he said, okay, we need to buy a house.
Really cool that they were able to buy 3 houses in California with their salaries that they just mentioned. It's a very expensive market. You will probably get a 1-bedroom tiny condo for $500,000. So great on them for saving as much as they could and getting into buying a house early on in their careers. That's exactly what we did. By the time we were 2.5 years into our job lives, we put down an offer on a house. It was the scariest decision of our lives. My stomach was turning. I just made this call to my dad, was like, Dad, I'm so scared. We're buying such an expensive house. And he was just like, just do it. It's all right. It's all gonna be fine. And that's just the little nudge that I needed. And we went for it, and it was the best decision ever, getting into real estate as early as we could in our careers. So amazing feat for these guys as well, that they were able to buy so many houses with not that high of an income. I'm not saying that 70,000 and 98,000 total 168K is less money, but in California, it can only go so far, especially if you're a family of 4.
My family never owned a home. And so for me, it was gonna be such a powerful thing to do, was to buy a home. And here we are.
This was the exact opposite for me growing up. My parents were always investing in real estate and owned multiple homes all through their lives. And that was a really good motivation in my brain. None of our friends had invested anything in real estate. And even when we were about to do, we were probably the first people. But this was just so right in my head. I had seen my dad save all this money to keep investing in houses and properties that it was just second nature to me, and that's why we got into it so early.
We have bought 6 homes.
6 homes.
We found a way to completely live rent and mortgage free, which is huge, especially at the time when we were living in the Bay Area.
That is a genius move. This is called house hacking, where you buy a duplex, which has 2 houses on the same property. You live in one and rent the other. And then the rent from the other house should typically pay for the mortgage of the entire house. So you are living rent and mortgage free. And this is one of the most powerful ways to build wealth, because housing, transportation, and food, these are usually the 3 most high ticket items on anybody's budget. So if you can house hack, especially when you're single or just a couple, that is one of the best ways to save money and grow your wealth.
When we were investing in the Bay Area and flipping properties, we were renting out these properties also on Airbnb, and we rented them out for so much that it covered the mortgage of the house that we were renting out, but then also where we were staying as well.
The hustle that they did was real. We were fortunate that we didn't have to do too many side hustles. We were able to save large chunks of our salaries because we were highly paid software engineers, but that also meant that we had ridiculous hours, that we were working 10 to 12 hours every day and barely had any time to do any side hustles. So it's one or the other. If your pay is a little bit lower, then you can supplement it with side hustles. And if your pay is a little bit higher, that's a little nicer, because you just have to go to one job but save a big chunk of your incoming salaries. Wow, these guys have got lots of good life experience traveling.
When we lived in Spain and Japan, paid for our housing. So we had no housing costs, no mortgage, no rent during that time. People think you have to have a 6-figure salary income coming in at least every single year in order to reach FIRE, and that wasn't the case for us.
We had 9.
That's actually true. Not that I have personally experienced it, but there are so many books that are available that people who have less money than like just 6-figure jobs. There's a book called The Millionaire Teacher. I've read that one. It's incredible. The story of this teacher making $50,000 a year and still becoming a millionaire and hitting financial independence. So highly recommend checking that book out, because it's not that you have to have a really high salary. It's obviously really nice, but also I've seen people blowing up their huge salaries, even tech salaries, Bay Area salaries. People are living paycheck to paycheck. If you're bad with money, you can blow away a lot of money. But if you understand what financial freedom can do for you, you can make it work in $50,000 a year, no problem. I would do that. I would take freedom over spending any day.
We went to IKEA in the as-is section and bought all of this as-is furniture and resold it for a profit. We were dumpster diving, getting wine crates.
We were doing everything imaginable.
Incredible work ethic for these people. So good on them. That's probably the reason they are living the life that they're living. In today's world, I always say it's really hard not to make money. So if you're out there struggling, there are so many creative ways to make money. I read the story about this 13-year-old who bought a house in Florida by just selling stuff that she found on Craigslist, the free section, probably repaired it, upcycled it, and sold it for profit and bought a house worth $7,000 in Florida. Really cool, inspiring story. So if you're struggling out there, do know that it has never been easier making money. I understand that some people don't have the privilege and it's really hard. Being poor is actually very expensive, but there are ways out. So don't lose hope and keep grinding.
Something else that is just amazing about living here in Portugal and being early retired is that we get to take full advantage of the beautiful nature around us. And we can do it when...
Wow, imagine the quality of life their kids are having, that the parents don't have to stress for work or come home late and just have so much connection, spend so much time together out in the nature. These girls are probably 12 and 14 is what they had mentioned, and they'll be off to school and college and they can so cherish these precious years with their kids, because once the bird flocks the nest is not coming back.
Everyone else is at work. We go to the beach Monday through Friday.
They're surfing together.
Whole thing to ourselves.
Good job, man.
Because Christina and I are relatively young and our children are relatively old, we are at a nice place where we can do certain things together. Like we can go surfing together.
Yes.
We can go hiking.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for the day I can go surf with my kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, just getting them comfortable in the water, and I really would love to have these kids of mine be my friends and we hang out and surf and enjoy our lives together. Cannot wait for that phase of life to start.
Together, and we don't have to necessarily worry about a baby bag.
Baby bags for us right now.
Girls grow so fast. They get so old so fast. They're 12 and 14 right now, and we still have a good couple of years with them in the house before they decide to go away to college. You know, we weren't running from something. We always tell people we're running to something.
I love this quote. This is not running away from a job, but running to a life that you create with intention and desire. That's exactly what we are doing with our lives, and that's why this is so relatable to us. I'm so glad I chose this video for reacting, just because it left me with such a nice feeling, and I hope you're feeling the same emotion as well.
We're looking forward to something. And for us, achieving FIRE meant being able to spend more time with each other, being able to spend more time with our girls, and have really that quality time that we have with our girls now. I want people to understand that there is a completely different path. Take a detour. Once you achieve it, you have so many options. You have such a fulfilling life once you reach FIRE.
Couldn't agree more. Reaching FIRE has been the most fulfilling thing that we've done for our lives. There is no stress. There are no alarm clocks in the morning. There is no fear of losing a job, because we've already done our saving and investing, and we know that this money is going to last us for our entire lifetime. You don't really even have to reach FIRE to experience this. You can start making small changes and start experiencing these beautiful feelings today. It doesn't have to be a FIRE moment that, oh, today I have the exact amount of money that I need, because that day will never come. Even right now, I think that we have achieved FIRE. My husband thinks that we need more cushion, and that debate can go on forever. But taking mini retirements, taking breaks, take longer vacations. Most likely, if you have a stable, good job and an employer, you will not be fired for taking a little bit more time off. Even something like taking 2 extra days off in a month to work on yourself, working on self-care, is going to make you a better employee in the longer run anyways. So feel free to have those discussions. Be bold and brave to have those discussions with your employer and your colleagues, and just make small incremental changes that make your lives better. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love doing this fun experiment, reacting, and luckily chose an incredible story. So if you feel connected with this content, please hit the like button and share this with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.